Welcome into a Monday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, powered and driven here by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to our crew online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. Get in touch with them online or find them in Laplace if you're looking for a brand new car, if you're looking for a used car. Easy to find the crew. Go Express Auto Sales right here in Baton Rouge, located on Sherwood Forest and Florida Boulevard. You can find them online, GoChevrolet.com. Good to see the crew. Lloyd is here after last night's broadcast, which was enormous. Thank you for being out there, as always.
Thought you're taking me.
No,
yeah, of course, dude.
Not at all.
I'll take that one.
Thanks for starting your day with us. Thanks for being there last night. Make sure to hit that like and share. Matuk is here. Lots to get to, including Kevin Gausman inking an enormous.
Big money.
I think we expected the big money, right? But
yeah, we did. I 5 years. I mean, I expected the 100. Five for 110, 22 a year. That's I think you can live on that.
Cherry on top, an extra 10.
Yeah, I think that's the most ever by a former LSU player. I think I was kind of doing some half-ass research just now, but I think that's I think Bregman had 100, and then I think Gausman beat that. I think I know.
Right. I mean, yeah, he just inked it.
Easy math.
Toronto going to be the favorite here now, huh?
They're stacked, bro. Their rotation's really good. They have Gausman, they have Ryu. They have 4 guys in their rotation that are really good, and then their lineup is stacked. I mean, if you wanna go look at some like fun stats, just go look at what their lineup did and just go up and down. I think they had 2 guys in their lineup with 40 homers. They had 5 total with 30 plus. They had multiple guys, 3 or 4 guys with 100 plus RBIs. I mean, they rake.
Aren't they young too? Don't
And
they have a bunch
their whole lineup is young.
And it's a bunch
you
of
have
former.
Vlad Jr.'s 22. You have Bo Bichette's like 22. Kevin Biggio he struggled a little bit. He's there.
Listen to those names, dude.
So you got Dante Bichette's son, Vlad
The
Jr.
Impaler.
Yeah, then you have
Craig Biggio's son.
And then you had, I mean, they're stacked. They have, Guriel, Lourdes Guriel, rakes. I mean, they're good, dude. They're good.
And
George Springer's there.
Yeah.
I forgot they got Springer.
Yeah, dude. And he's been hurt. He was hurt for most of the year. And I mean, dude, they're good.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit about that at the because there's a ton of there's just so much to
There's
get
something to talk
man.
about? You sure?
There's a ton
Might
to
be
get
some content
to.
out there.
I don't know if there's. I didn't know. I thought this weekend was a little dead.
Just as far as the college football news goes, LSU's job is still vacant. Lincoln Riley and Oklahoma. Oklahoma is now vacant. Lincoln Riley is in Southern California.
KD.
We will talk about that. It was a Kevin Durant move, man. It felt very KD.
Yeah, I'm not saying that because we think he spurned LSU. I'm saying that because he spurned the SEC. He didn't want any part of the smoke.
We talked about it a couple of weeks back after the Baylor game. I mean, his press conference to me was just screaming white flag.
Coward.
I mean, he was waving it. Get me out of here. I don't want anything to do with any of this.
Not trying to defend the guy.
No, look, I'm not. And we talked about this a little bit before the show. I'm not defending him on his decision. I understand his decision. If he goes to LSU, or if he stays at Oklahoma and comes to the SEC, it's a lot harder of a track to win the national championship, right? He goes to USC. He turns this program, who has been terrible for the last, I don't even know, 6, 7 years, 8 years, and he turns the Pac-12 into he has a bona fide contender every year. That absolutely just solidifies his legacy, but still a bitch move.
He could strike gold. He could strike gold with the move to Southern California. But if you're Lincoln Riley and your reputation and your pay scale is in the competition of some of the elite coaches in the country that are Lane Kiffin, Jimbo Fisher, Kirby Smart, Mike Leach, and you have an opportunity to compete against that group week in, week out, and you move away and you tuck and run, it tells you everything you need to know about Lincoln Riley. I mean, Lincoln Riley told you his story. You don't need to buy his book. He told you the main plot of it yesterday when he made his move to Southern California and running away from the Southeastern Conference. There were reports coming out. Look, I know that people in Norman right now are very bitter. Some of them kind of walking around in a fog after exchanging some text messages with some people over there. But there were reports early on in the process that Lincoln Riley was kind of annoyed that Oklahoma was making the move to the SEC. So I don't think that he even he ever really wanted to be in the league. He never wanted to be in the conference because, he knows what it is. It's minor league of the NFL. I mean, and it has the highest paid coaches, and it has the most talented coaches.
Best players.
The best players. And look, if you think you can fake it, you'll get smoked out. Ask Dan Mullen. 365 days ago, Dan Mullen was untouchable. A couple of dumb jokes and dressing up like Star Wars in a press conference, and some bad losses, and you're fired. You're done. I mean, it's over. He's an afterthought. They've already hired the replacement in Gainesville. As they announced Billy Napier yesterday, it was a quick turnaround. Scott Strickland, as we reported last week, was in Lafayette last Monday, sitting in Billy Napier's living room. And after that, Ross Dellinger said it last night. If you missed it, go back and check out all of our Sunday night broadcasts are brought to you by Lance Beal, and all of our sound is brought back to you by RMB Builders. Rhett Bourgeois and his crew over there at RMB Builders bring back all the podcasts and all of the sound. And Dellinger said last night that Scott Strickland, after meeting face-to-face with Billy Napier last week, the coaching search in Gainesville was over. That was all that needed to happen. Strickland saw him face-to-face. He heard his vision. He heard the pitch both from Napier's side, and Scott Strickland made his pitch, and they had a handshaking deal earlier last week that, you just kind of went through the rest of the process if you were Florida, but you had your guy tabbed. And on Sunday, a week after they fired Mullen, they announced Napier as the new head coach. Or not officially, but I mean, the reports are out there. They should have a press conference coming up here pretty soon.
If you're Scott Woodward, why would you not have that interview with him just to have it? Because rumor is he hasn't. They didn't have that. He never had Napier never had an interview with LSU. Why would you not say, you know what, this guy's in Lafayette, he's done really well. Even if you're not seriously thinking about hiring him, why not just go? Let me just talk to this guy and just see.
Feel it out.
So I'll give you my thoughts on that. And real quick, we got a huge show. Jake Crain of the JBoy Show coming up here at 7:30. Will Wade of LSU basketball, head coach, is going to be here at 8 a.m. Wade and the boys still undefeated and Emerald Coast tournament champions back home in Baton Rouge.
You think they finally rake them or what?
What's that?
You think they finally put him in the top 25? Jesus Christ.
No, probably not. My biggest concern is are they going to finally pay Will Wade? Like, it's getting to a point where now it's becoming concerning. Like, what else do you really want this guy to do? Extend him and pay him as soon as possible if you're the LSU administration. I know that they got a ton of stuff going on and that there's a ton of stuff that may even take precedent or priority, but Wade has to be moving up the list as far as guys that you need to get paid on campus today, like yesterday.
You think it's
really.
Hire the coach, pay Will Wade? That has to be the number 1 and 2.
I would hope so. So Wade will be here at 8 a.m. And then at 8:30, John Battle, former LSU standout, South Florida native. Every time I think Texas A&M, I think John Battle. Post game, Kevin Faulk in the middle of the field fighting at Texas A&M fight a couple of years back in College Station.
He kind of got away with it.
Yeah,
he never really got in any trouble, and he connected too.
He
got him popped him
right in the button.
Yeah, and then nobody really talked about it because the
that.
Kevin Faulk thing kind of blew up, and John Battle got to sneak one in there and get out.
So we'll talk to Battle about everything around that game because it was a pretty exciting college football weekend. Ohio State downed by Michigan in Ann Arbor.
Crushed.
They were crushed in the
dominated,
snow.
bro.
Harbaugh's best performance as Michigan's head coach. His team.
I would love for somebody, the next head coach, somebody just to sneak up to the Midwest and let's go grab some of those offensive linemen.
Well,
I know you don't get them because they stay in the Big Ten, but give me some of them.
You saw Garrett Dellinger make the start over the weekend as James. Speaking of, Brad Davis was named interim head coach as Orgeron stepped down, or his termination went into act on Saturday night, and his days as the LSU head football coach are no more, and Brad Davis is going to run it here in the interim until they name the coach.
I like Brad Davis.
Me too. I
do.
And John Battle. So as we said, huge show. JBoy, Will Wade, and John Battle coming up here. The only thing that I can take away after the last 24 hours in which we've talked to Ross Dellinger from Stillwater on Saturday, where he was there covering the Oklahoma State game, Bedlam, where Oklahoma won the game. And then afterwards, Lincoln Riley made it clear that he was not going to be the LSU head coach. He didn't reference that he was going to be out of Norman. He just said he wasn't going to be in Baton Rouge. Dellinger thought that he was covering the story of Lincoln Riley coaching his last game at Oklahoma before he was going to LSU. Turns out it was before he went to USC. We have talked to Dellinger. We have talked to insiders around college football, and the more that we talk to people around the LSU situation, the more it seems that this deal has been done, like people since the fire was made public, since Orgeron was ousted at the Florida game.
That is the only explanation.
That is the only thing that I can take away of why we have talked to people close to Dave Aranda and Billy Napier, as good as contacts and as good as sources from those two camps as you can find. And it has been told to me, and as Dellinger was reporting, that they have not been contacted by LSU. Napier and his crew was not contacted throughout the process, even to the fact where Napier's crew reached out to LSU last week and said that Florida had made contact and that Florida was on the doorstep of offering, and that Napier would, if LSU was interested in him, would stall with Florida. That he would slow play Florida if LSU wanted to get into the mix with Napier, and LSU never called him back. That's what I heard last week, and then Dellinger came on here yesterday and confirmed it. I've heard the same thing from the Aranda side. Not that Aranda was calling LSU, just that LSU has not reached out to Dave Aranda. The only thing I can take away, if that pedigree of candidate has not been talked to, is that this deal has been done since the job has been open.
So what are we waiting on?
I don't know what the timeline and why the schedule. I don't understand that. But Dellinger also painted a scenario yesterday where he's speaking to people, in and around LSU, and this is, as he admitted yesterday, and like we have all admitted here, and I don't know if you have to either say it or you just put information on the street and you see it blow up in your face to show that nobody really knows what the hell's going on here except for about 3 or 4 people within the LSU administration and 2 agents out there, probably, that who's going to be next for LSU.
I feel like Woodward is literally, he's doing this as a game now. I feel like he's like, you know what?
I'm gonna torture.
I'm gonna let everybody panic. Oh my God, we're not gonna get a coach. We're not gonna coach, and I'm gonna drop this bomb on him and say, hey, this is what we got, and everybody's gonna be so happy. And I hope that's the situation.
If you play it that way, you better have somebody that's gonna be a bomb.
You better have the ace in the hole, dude. Where it's like,
this was worth the wait.
Yes, and if you don't, it is you.
PR.
You are putting yourself in a position where if this guy is above average, just above average, not great, not bad, above average, so good coach, you put yourself in a position where if he's not elite, you're fucked.
Well,
Put Scott Woodward
because that's you've waited this long.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't said anything. You're allowing all these rumors to come out. You haven't spoken to anybody. You haven't had a press conference. Nobody's heard anything from you. And so you're allowing everybody's. And look, dude, the mind works, and it's terrible. Like the more you can let your mind run, the craziest shit you think of crazy stuff. So he's letting people do this. He's letting the media go and put out all these reports, and he's sitting back and he's like, "This isn't true. This is laughing." I'm sure he's laughing, but at the end of the day, it's like, "Hey, dude, at some point you've got to make this decision, or tell us what decision you've made."
Well, like we said last night, he's either in severe panic mode, which now the storyline around LSU and the fan base is that Scott Woodward is duck hunting. Scott Woodward is playing golf. Every time they see Woodward on the sidelines, he's got a big smile on his face. So, I mean, if you're going and drawing conclusions off of those actions, it seems like he's in a very comfortable state. Right? It seems like he's very calm. And the only reservation that I still have or not the reservation, the only sense of buy-in that I really have on Scott Woodward and this process is that Woodward has been, and I've said this a couple of times, so if you've listened to the show and listened to this buildup of of the opening, you know where I'm going, is that Scott Woodward has lived his entire professional life awaiting this decision, in my opinion. And I've got you talk to people that are close to him, and he knew when he came back here as the athletics director, at some point he was going to have to make the football hire, and it was probably going to be sooner rather than later. Because the people that were really close to O, when you really spent a lot of time with him, you could see that he's just a little unfit for this job long term. They're having success early on, but I don't know how much the viability of him staying on the job for a long time is going to be. So Scott Woodward really started this process 3 years ago. Even kind of like at the end of that national championship season, he could really kind of see some of the writing on the wall. And it was really about the inability for Orgeron to connect with any type of assistant coaches that he was trying to hire.
So I agree with you. And this, so to your point, and this is what I was hearing a lot of this weekend. So I grinded it out. I went to the game. It was miserable weather. But everybody was asking, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What does Jordy think? What do y'all think? I'm like, I don't know. But everybody, the longer this goes, everybody's concern is, look, I have confidence in Scott Woodward, but I don't know anymore. Because he said, why would you give, now they're flipping it, they're going, thinking back to his other decision. Why would you give Ed Orgeron a $17 million buyout? So now they're going like, hey, look, he's a great guy, but if he knew that he was going to have to make this decision,
very true.
Why would you give Ed Orgeron a $17 million buyout if you didn't think he was going to be the guy anyway?
I guess you would have to imagine that if the only scenario I can think of is he knew that this would come to a head and it would be very messy, and so you just pay him under.
Give him a $10 million buyout.
Yeah, but I'm sure that was part of the negotiation where they set a number and they're like, all right, for this amount of money, you have to shut the fuck up whenever comes time to pay the piper.
I'm not saying that he's a bad. Like, I'm not saying he did anything wrong. I'm just saying those are the questions. The longer this goes, this drags out.
He's doing this. He's causing this within the entire fan base himself. And I think there's a degree that he understands this, and it could be that it comes out during the announcement and say, look, they just couldn't make it public because of this. And I'm trying to paint scenarios, and I'm trying to draw scenarios in my head of what that could be, right? Like if it's Lane Kiffin, which, at this point, if it's not Lincoln Riley and it's not Billy Napier and it's not those guys, not Dave Aranda, well, then if it's Lane Kiffin, why would you not announce that on Sunday? Why would you not announce if he's out there recruiting? If he's flying around the country, I mean, if you were paying attention to Lane Kiffin's Twitter account on Sunday, it had sparks coming off of that thing, man.
Lane Kiffin is the Twitter king, dude.
He knows how to play the game.
He keeps his name in social media world at all times.
Well, and he was flexing yesterday.
Yes, he was.
And he was trolling LSU, and he was playing with LSU, and I don't know if that was some type of negotiation tactic, or I don't know if he's just kind of saying, y'all are lost right now.
Uh-huh.
But whatever it is, when I was thinking, if it's not Lane Kiffin, or if it is Lane Kiffin, why would you not announce him on Sunday? Why would you not get out in front of it? Because, I mean, Trevante Citizen decommitting is a huge storyline within LSU football.
Right.
Like if LSU football is all secure right now and they have a head coach and the only storyline from the weekend is that they won the game on Saturday in dramatic fashion and then Trevante Citizen decommitted on Sunday, the bigger story would be Citizen decommitting.
Right.
I mean, that is a huge story as far as LSU football is concerned, and you've got to be out in front of that stuff. You've got to be able to douse that stuff. You've got to be able to put the fires out around that story and answer the questions of who's going to be next, when's going to be next, what type of style, offense, all that stuff that Citizen and his crew are concerned about are all legitimate questions that they need answers to. And I get playing the waiting game. And like I said, one of the most impressive things, if not the most impressive thing that Scott Woodward has done throughout this entire process is snip the leaks, is close the gaps, is close the holes, is not allow any information out. It's unbelievable where LSU is today compared to where they were last time in this search, where people in the media, people in the public were finding out stuff before administrators were. because there was just so much gossip and talk, and nobody trusted anybody up there. Now there is a professional circle of business people that get stuff done very silently, which is really the way you need to do it. But you're running up against a deadline now where you're going to cost your organization future personnel if you don't start really getting out in front of this thing. And I know Justin Vincent was brought out last night, and he did an interview, and it kind of felt like it was a little PR cleanup. It kind of somebody that everybody likes, everybody respects, everybody knows his voice around LSU football is for the best interest of the program. And what did Vincent say, that he expects a coach to be named like midweek?
Yeah, he said Tuesday or Wednesday, and then he mentioned that he had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, which I found that to be probably the more interesting part. Justin Vincent. So
he had to sign one?
Yeah, he was on a show last night, and they had him on, and they asked him that, what's the timeline? He said, look, it's a done deal. I expect an announcement Tuesday or Wednesday, so midweek. And then he mentioned that I also had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. So that's all he could say about the deal, but that makes it seem very, buttoned up and official in my mind. But there's been a lot to not believe.
Okay, so have you ever tried to surprise your wife, or you don't have a wife? Well, so girlfriend, wives, whoever. Have you ever tried to have a surprise?
Bad play in this room.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We fell silent immediately.
So have you ever tried to surprise a significant other?
Your dog.
Right? They you always you're kind of coy, you don't want to say too much, and then you're they ask questions, you don't want to say anything, and then they start getting pissed off at you, and they're like, why are you being so sketchy? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And you can't say, well, I have a surprise for you, because it's kind of ruins the surprise, and they keep hounding you, and they aggravate you so much, and you say, fine, fuck it, this is what it is. And they're like, oh my God, why'd you tell me? Well, because you've been
took
hounding
all the fun
me.
out of it.
This is what that feels like. It's at the end of it, he's holding off. He's got the best poker face. He's holding off, and all of a sudden he's gonna drop this surprise on us, and it's gonna be like, oh,
thank
right.
you.
Wow, thank you.
You love me.
I'm glad you didn't tell me.
All you brats, shut up.
I'm glad you didn't tell me
Christmas
early.
is coming.
Yeah, that's the only way I can think this thing.
Because he is walking around with kind of like a shit-eating grin on
Yes.
his
He
face.
was panicking,
he wouldn't be in public like this.
And he knows going duck hunting is going to get to tiger droppings.
Oh, yeah.
He knows playing golf on Saturday morning is going to be out in the public.
Anything he does publicly will be public.
His persona, the way that he's carrying himself right now, is going to be broken down and talked about. He knows all of that is happening. So for him to be as comfortable as he is, and for the candidates with the pedigree of people like Dave Aranda, Billy Napier, and Lincoln Riley, not being confirmed that they have been talked to. We've confirmed that Napier and Aranda haven't been contacted. There was speculation on whether or not Riley was ever even courted and offered.
And JBoy can show some credence to that, because as you saw, he's the one that, I don't want to say leaked, but put in the public that there was a contract offer to Lincoln Riley.
And we're going to talk to JBoy coming up here in 2 minutes on the Jordy Culotta Show. Don't forget, daily, we are brought to you by A-Bear's Specialty Meats. We announced it last week. A-Bear's is open and operating inside a Robert's grocery store on Highland Road in Baton Rouge in the Kenilworth Shopping Center. So if you're looking for the selection of specialty meats, whether it's the holiday season coming up with Christmas, or if you just need something to eat on this week with the kids coming back from school, going to school, and you got things going on in and around the house, you're trying to do online shopping, you're trying to get the kids ready for school and everything going on, and you just don't know what you're going to pick up and eat, stopped in and at A-Bear's over there in Robert's grocery store and pick up a deboned chicken, a turducken, one of the specialty meats that you can choose from. It's located in Baton Rouge on Highland Road in Robert's grocery store, or out in Geismar on Highway 73 right there in the Dutchtown Shopping Center. A freezer full of great pickups. Stop in and see A-Bear's. Proud sponsor here of the Jordy Culotta Show, and now open and operating inside of Robert's grocery store in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, right there next to Superior Bar and Grill in the Kenilworth Shopping Center. We will be back with Jake Crain of the JBoy Show talking about all of the coaching moves, Lincoln Riley to Southern California. Who's next at Oklahoma with that job now open in the SEC? What's
Bob
next
Stoops?
with Lane Kiffin? Yeah, Bob Stoops is back on the sidelines for Oklahoma. The guy that really gave Lincoln Riley his opportunity in Norman 5 years ago is now back in the interim, coaching Oklahoma here during the bowl season. Lots to talk about with JBoy. We'll get to it next year on the Jordy Culotta Show. Driven and powered every single day by our friends over at Go Chevrolet. Check them out online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. Hebert's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. 2 spots right here in Baton Rouge and out in Prairieville. Stop in and see them in the Dutchtown Shopping Center on Highway 73 or right here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. Online, abearsmarkets.com, and they're all over social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Hebert's combines perfect seasoning with that authentic Cajun flavor. Find out for yourself. Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and in Prairieville on Highway 73. abearsmarkets.com. GoFlow IV and Spa, 7970 Jefferson Highway is where you can find them, or you can simply go online to goflowiv.com. GoFlow IV Spa is a medical spa that specializes in IV hydration with vitamin infusion. At GoFlow IV Spa, they can help you with a wide range of issues, from skin care to illness recovery, athletic performance, hangover cure, chronic illness, and even chronic dehydration. GoFlowIV.com or stop in and see them, 7970 Jefferson Highway. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show here on this Monday morning, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Remember, daily, we're brought to you by Johnson and Spillers. That's our dentist over here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Help if you need help with any type of dental needs, whether it's general dentistry or pediatric dentistry. Let Johnson and Spillers take care of it for you. JohnsonSpillers.com. They're on Facebook. Located in Gonzales and in Baton Rouge. It was a crazy Saturday in college football, maybe even a wilder Sunday in the sport as we saw jobs open and close. USC was taken by Lincoln Riley. Many believed going into the weekend that Riley was going to end up at LSU. All types of stuff to get to with our guy, Jake Crain of the JBoy Show, one of the fastest rising shows in a country right now as far as the podcast is concerned. This thing is on fire. If you are not following the JBoy Show, make sure you do that on Twitter. He's all over the place. He's got a YouTube station. He's online at thejboyshow.com. He's a part of the Volume Sports Network, which is right now a growing podcast community. And the number one source for college football is the JBoy Show. As we get to him again here on this Monday morning. Good morning, man. How are you?
Jordy, what's up, man? Doing good. Yeah, it's that time of year for craziness and the Houdini look left and make the elephant disappear.
It is, man. There is popular theory down here in LSU territory in Louisiana that Scott Woodward has had his guy in place for a while now. There has been all types of names and smoke, and people are going to be next. What are you hearing is the latest on LSU now that Lincoln Riley is out in Oklahoma and settled in Los Angeles?
Well, you know, here's the way I look at it. I mean, Lincoln's a guy that's been pursued, obviously, you know, for a while, you know, over a multitude of years. And the person that I was talking with at the time, somebody that's currently a coach in the SEC West and a guy that I trust, you know, about as much as I trust anybody, had a good feeling that LSU was going to offer. And you know, again, and what I want people to understand is if you go back and look at the clip that I recorded, and it's recorded, that's the beautiful part, is, you know, we were talking about an offer that was made, you know, and my thing was, you know, if it's going to be 8 years for $12 million a year, I don't know how you could turn that money down because I don't think Oklahoma's going to match it. My biggest problem, I guess, is I didn't realize there were more suitors than just one. But to me, the thing the signal it sends, Jordy, you know, if you're Lincoln Riley, and I know, and I'll talk about this on the show today, and people say, oh, well, you know, it's an easier path to the playoff and this, that, and the other. But, man, it really does look like you're ducking the SEC. I mean, Oklahoma's going in the SEC. LSU's interested in you enough to, you know, really pursue it. Man, it's just, to me, it's not a great look if you're a guy that's going to go in there and tell recruits, you know, I'm a dog. I want to go against the best of the best. But, again, it is what it is.
Where does Oklahoma go from here? How attractive is that job now compared to LSU?
Well, I mean, again, I think that, the LSU job to me is just on a different level. I've talked about it a bunch, whether it's in-state talent, not having to worry about another state school, whether it's, having three coaches the last three head coaches that have won national championships. They understand it. They get it. We know, how important it is to people down there. It's LSU and the Saints, as opposed to Oklahoma. You have a state that doesn't produce a ton of talent. I think there's a reason that they haven't won in the playoff, and they've lost 4 times, really to SEC schools, including LSU. I just think you have a better chance to win quicker at LSU.
When you look at the openings right now in college football, and Florida is just filled with Billy Napier over the weekend, they make that official. What does Florida get in Napier, and how do you kind of judge the way that Scott Strickland handled that vacancy?
Well, anytime you sign a guy that doesn't really have a lot of P5 experience, it's a gamble. But I have to say this, Billy has built up a lot of equity, as you guys know. I mean, he could have bolted multiple times to multiple, really high-end places, and he's earned the shot to take over a place like Florida, a place that you can flip very quickly. I mean, we were arguing, what was the better job, LSU or Florida? I had LSU just by a minutia because there's no Miami or there's no Florida State or anything like that. So, look, I think Florida made a good decision. He's a guy that checks all the boxes. I mean, he can recruit. He's genuine. And those two things go hand in hand. And he's really competitive, And I think Florida needed a guy that had structure, a guy that, even though he's not so mature in age, Nate's really mature in the way he handles things. And he gets it. He understands the blueprint. I thought it was a great hire for Florida.
What do you make of the news? And Ross Dellinger was here last night. He reported it. We talked to some people around Napier's camp and have also talked to some people around Dave Aranda's camp, reporting that LSU has not made contact with both of them. Now, I know Napier is off the board. This is going back to the last couple of weeks. Does that lead you to believe that LSU has a guy in place, or were those two guys further down the list in your opinion? And if there is a name that we're not talking about, is there somebody in your mind that fits the mold of what LSU is looking for or could be the guy?
Well, again, I'm going to stand by what I was told from a guy that I trust. I think they really believed they had a shot at Lincoln Riley, and it obviously didn't work out. I think it's open right now. But again, the thing that I got to give Scott Woodward credit for is he's on his timeline. Uh-huh. He's not on my timeline. He's not on your timeline. He's not on the fans' timeline. He's on his timeline. And he has a knack for being able, keep things under wraps, even if they don't work out, and move on to the next guy. I'm very interested, when you look around the landscape, you got guys in the NFL all the way from Eric Bieniemy to, college, and Aranda, I feel like he's going to stick at Baylor. But, there was a lot of people talking about Luke Fickell last night. That'd be an interesting fit to me. I really don't see Luke leaving. Now, again, you never know in coaching, but look, at the end of the day, Scott Woodward is a guy that has done this before. He understands what's on the line. He understands what's at stake. And I don't think this is going to be some running around dumpster fire.
What did you make of the Iron Bowl over the weekend?
Well, from an Auburn perspective, it's kind of like the part on Billy Madison when he gets the kid to call Veronica Vaughn for him, and he looks at it and says that, you blew it. I mean, you did. You blew it. There's not another way to put it. You had him right where you wanted him. I mean, Jamison Williams was out for targeting. I'll say this. At the end of the day, winners win. That's what they do. And they haven't had to go 99 yards, with no timeouts, and you gave it up. And you gave it up to him. And that's the thing, you can play. That's the tough thing about football. You can play great for 3/4 of the game. But if you can't finish, it doesn't matter. And, I'm very interested to see if Derek Mason even called that game defensively. But it was amazing that last drive. They had put pressure on him the whole game. They brought pressure the whole game. And the last drive, when you had to have it, you got nervous and you played back. And Bryce Young picked you apart, and they tore you apart, and Mechie broke your heart. And TJ Finley, look, he's not ready. I don't think he knows what he was looking at. But the sad part is for Auburn, they caught all the breaks they could have in that game. with Jamison Williams going out, them bobbling the field goal, them bobbling the snap on 4th and 2. You had the ball on your side of the 50 more times than not in the second half with a 10-point lead. To put it very quickly, you blew it. And if Brian Harsin and Derek Mason and Mike Bobo and them don't finish games, you don't stay at Auburn long. You got to get guys in there with the winning gene. You got to get guys. They got to know how to win, because at the end of the day, winners win. And in that game, winners win, and the winners won.
Harsin was asked about his future afterwards at Auburn, as far as from his point of view. How do you like that match? How do you like that relationship after 1 year?
I think it's good, but it's 6-6 ain't gonna cut it. And, they asked him, and he said, it's something to where he knows it's not acceptable. But the thing with him now is, you better finish with a good recruiting class, because when you were 6-2 and number 13 in the country, if you finished, with the 28th ranked recruiting class, you can be like, well, guys, look, we went 8-4. We're doing it our way. Now that you went 6-6, you better put your Stephen Hawking glasses on and go find some stars, or there's going to be some pretty pissed off people for a while.
How short's his leash?
If they go 6-6 next year, they're going to have to win something the third year. Now, I don't believe he's going to go to Washington. And look, I think Brian Harsin is a good fit, but at the end of the day, when you blow leads, it's very concerning when you blow leads like that. I mean, the last 4 games. I mean, I can't remember the last time Auburn lost 4 games in a row. So he's going to have to figure it out, and he's going to have to get some coordinators in there and get some personnel in there, whether it's in the transfer portal, because Gus Malzahn didn't do him any favors from a personnel standpoint. The offensive line's not very good. None of those guys will play in the NFL. You got to get guys up front that you can run the ball. You got to be able to keep Tank. There's whispers about him and if he's going to stay at Auburn. So, look, if it keeps going downhill, and I'm not talking about the run game, he won't last long, but I do think it's a good fit. But you better sign a damn good class, and you better finish games, especially against Alabama at home, when everybody in the city shows up for you.
Obviously, it feels like Auburn's at the front of the line of this, and that's no disrespect. It just feels like coaches don't get any time anymore. When you look at the timeline for coaches when they get into a new program, they don't really have the time, like you said. If it's left in shambles and you get there, the fan base doesn't give you 2 years to rebuild or anything like that. So where do you think this stops? When does it come to a head where it'll finally maybe flip on its ear a little bit and fan bases start going, look, this is probably one of the harder jobs in America. You got to give a guy a little bit of time to be able to succeed, because it feels like everybody's chasing the ghost of Nick Saban and trying to find that next one guy that can change it in a year. And I just don't feel like that's the way college football works.
Well, I mean, you say that. Then on the other hand, they let Gus Malzahn stick around and go 2-9 versus Georgia, not win the West one time or make the playoff, and gave him, a $21 million buyout. So at Auburn, you're coming off one where they let a guy hang around too long, in my opinion. But it's just the nature of the beast. I mean, you're in the SEC especially, because, to me, you got to separate the way it's handled in the SEC and the way that it's handled everywhere else, just because the SEC, it's at such a faster rate. And, when you have this amount of money coming in, because, I mean, Auburn generates a ton of money. I mean, this isn't a mom and pop shop. This isn't Vanderbilt. You can win there. It's been proven. But I think it's also a reflection of society. I mean, it's not what have you done for me now. It's what are you doing for me tomorrow, and it's going to stay like that. So as long as, and again, let's not say woe is me to these coaches now. It's not like they're getting paid shekels. I mean, we don't have an Oliver Twist situation going on over here. I mean, Mel Tucker just got $95 million for 10 years. God knows what some of these other contracts are going to be. So, it's, in one hand you say, yeah, and you do, but on the other hand as well, you've got the transfer portal, you got a free transfer rule. So while I know how tough it is, and you got to give a head coach at least 3 years, that's the only way you can get your personnel in there and really make a judgment. With the transfer portal now and some of these contracts, people that spend big money expect big results. And I just think that's how it's going to be moving forward until the aliens come down and start talking to us.
Do you anticipate, which probably be sooner rather than later, bro, do you anticipate that Oklahoma roster being depleted following him to Los Angeles? I saw they already had three 5-stars decommit.
Yeah, very interested to see what Caleb Williams does too. That's something we kind of talked about with LSU stuff going on and with Lincoln. But now, I mean, look, the timing of this was also pretty pretty interesting with the in-face visits starting and stuff like that. I don't know if Oklahoma can salvage it. I mean, you hired Bob Stoops to be the interim, but most of these kids right now don't know who Bob Stoops is. They know who Mark Stoops is, but they really don't know who Bob Stoops is until you have to explain it to them. So I think this is one of those, you kind of get in the battle, Jordy, if you're an AD, especially with the new signing period. Notice I didn't call it the early signing period because it's the new signing period. We have a December signing period, then a late signing period. You kind of get caught in the battle of, well, do we go hire a guy now to try and salvage the class, or do we take our time and make sure we get the right guy? And that's what I'm most interested to see. But I don't see how they salvage it, to be honest with you.
Jake Crain of the JBoy Show, host podcast. Make sure and check him out and follow him there on the JBoyShow.com. As we were telling you, is the website. You can also follow him on Twitter at the JBoy Show. He's got a YouTube channel as well that he goes live on. Lots to get to. His crazy times in college football. What do you expect this weekend in Atlanta with Georgia and Alabama? We'll get you out of here.
Yeah, I took Georgia -6. We're going to be at the Hall of Fame, so it's going to be a madhouse around there. It's going to be pretty cool. But no, I just think Georgia's about the closest thing to the model of consistency that we've had this year, and you blend that with an elite roster, and you get success. So, Alabama struggled. They've had one side of the ball play good, then the other side of the ball not play good at the same time. They've struggled playing complementary football. And, I mean, if you can't stop Auburn's pass rush, the absolute, monsters that are about to be thrown at you, I don't see how you stop them either. I like Georgia by 7 or more. That's why I took them -6 yesterday.
Yeah. Real quick, this is the last one, I promise. How big was that win for Harbaugh in Michigan?
Oh, it's massive, man. I mean, David Cohn, our co-host, played quarterback at Michigan, and it's good. That rivalry needs to have parity in it for the good of college football. We talked about last week. He was telling some Ohio State fans, like, man, we really kind of feel like y'all need to win one eventually, to make sure the rivalry's good. And we kind of came to the conclusion that I guess Ohio State fans just want to feel something again. Well, they're feeling something this morning. That was huge for Harbaugh. It took him 5-6 years to do it. He threw a little shade at Ryan Day because Ryan's been throwing shade at him for about 3 years. So no, it's great for college football.
I swear this is the last one. David Cutcliffe leaving Duke. Does that have any effect on the recruiting of Arch Manning, or is he done?
I'm sure Cutcliffe will be around with it. I mean, he'll be somebody that I'm sure they bounce questions off of and stuff like that. But look, this thing with Arch Manning, this may be the most publicized recruitment ever. But I'm going to say this. Arch Manning looks like a really good player. I get it. But that Walker Howard kid, I know they're in different classes. I'd take Walker Howard over Arch Manning.
10 out of 10 times.
I said that this week, and everybody thought I was a homer.
10 out of 10 times, Jake. I don't. I mean, that is spot on. Have a great week. We'll touch base soon.
All right, Jordy. Thanks, buddy.
Later, man. There is Jake Crain from the JBoy Show checking in on what is a very busy time right now in college football. Make sure you're keeping up with Jake and what he's got going on over at the JBoy Show, and follow him on Twitter at the JBoy Show and online at thejboyshow.com. That conversation brought to you by GoFlow. GoFlow IV and Spa, located over here on Jefferson Highway. I saw you had the family out this weekend.
Oh, had the fan there. We needed it. We needed they had a little little stomach issue, bug thing going on. I was recovering and had Friday night.
Is this pre-Saturday?
Yeah, this is like Friday. It just didn't feel right, a little wheezy, whatever. And then Saturday, middle of the night, I was like, you know what? I was like probably 4:30 in the morning. I was like, I got to get up and go. And so I looked at it. 9:30 a.m. was when it opened. The girl that works the front, I forget her name, but she was like, hey, y'all are lucky. We had 2 people drop out, cancel, and I didn't know walk-ins were hard to do. So we showed up, me and my mom and Allie. We showed up and got the IV and
got to bounce around on Saturday.
Yeah, got a little 45-minute nap after that, and then
let's go,
and then I felt good. So it was good.
Place is awesome, bro. Over at GoFlow IV, Baton Rouge's premier medical spa, specializing in IV hydration treatments with vitamin infusion. Check them out online at GEAUXFlowIV.com, GoFlowIV.com. They've got memberships available, 3-month, 6-month, and annual memberships. If you suffer from chronic dehydration, if you're looking to help with chronic illness recovery, athletic performance by replenishing electrolytes and vitamins after your workouts, check out GoFlow IV, Geaux, flowiv.com, goflowiv.com. We're going to talk to Will Wade coming up here at just after 8 o'clock this morning. Coach Wade and the basketball team come home tournament champs from the Emerald Coast Classic. We'll talk a little bit about that with Coach Wade coming up at about 10 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. And we'll also talk to John Battle here at 8:30 as we'll talk to Battle about that Texas A&M rivalry and matchups, and Battle and Kevin Faulk on the field a couple of years back fighting with the Colt members.
So awesome, dude.
And Damian Craig.
Did you see the One Team One Pod, like where they were going around asking
Yes.
A&M fans if they're in a cult? They're like, absolutely we
Yeah,
are. It's like,
that-
at least they
They
embrace
embrace it. That's
Yeah,
fine.
They were like smiling and like absolutely.
Come join.
100%.
Yeah, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Got a couple of spots.
The
yeah,
ring
I mean,
thing.
just
Oh my
unbelievable,
god, dude! I had one A&M. I had a teacher that went to A&M, and he would flash that thing.
The
like,
ring?
Yeah, you would think
I
it
didn't
was
realize.
worth $1
I didn't
billion.
realize how big those things like not big like as in size, but big as in like
Wearing
colossal. No,
them.
I'm just joking. That's a
Yeah.
little way.
Little weight.
Yeah.
But yeah, like big as in like popular. Like I'm like Jesus, you know,
Like gaining weight.
yeah, like gaining weight. Yeah.
It's crazy because it is a cult.
It's a cult, and they know it.
It is such a cult, man. I mean, they're so
Dude,
weird
their
with
band,
their
halftime
fandom.
band. Does their band travel everywhere? And I've never. Okay, so is that a norm? Like that we had their band play the like? Do we let a visiting bands play at our like?
That's a good question.
Or is that just A&M thing?
That's a good. No, I don't think
I
it's
don't know,
just
I
an
was
A&M
confused.
thing.
No, I've seen other bands.
Yeah, I
If you're
think- I
allowed
think-
to travel with
yeah,
your
I
full
think so.
band or whatever,
No,
if
I
you want
think
to.
that
Yeah,
it
I've
looked
seen
like-
it before.
It looked
think
like
both-
they were World War One. Like
What is that? What is? I mean,
it looked
what
like
are
they
we
were
doing?
getting
Are
ready
they
to
in the
battle
war?
in World
Are
War
they?
One.
Yeah. Are they like?
Don't have.
Are
I
they
don't know.
registered for service? I
don't
feel like you
know.
shouldn't be able to wear those uniforms.
I don't know. But I just know that they take it to the 10th degree.
The
And
12th degree.
Look, they say the
those
yell
cheer
leaders. They
yell
say,
leaders.
I mean, look, they say those guys are like the most popular guys on
I
campus,
can't-
but it gives me that very uncomfy feeling in my stomach.
I
I'm like,
can't
Oogie.
get just
"Ugh."
what
they say,
is
hey, they
going
say
on.
people love them, and not just people. Like they say the females like them.
That is
Well,
amazing.
it's unfortunate they don't like the females.
It is a hell of a gig.
What do you think the qualifications are to
I don't
do
know.
that? Like, is it? I wonder if it's like joining a fraternity.
I don't know.
Like,
I saw,
if it's like
I saw
hard.
the video earlier in the year. I'm like, this is just makes me so uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable.
It is.
And
It
then,
is.
I mean, everybody saw the one that went viral. Of,
That's
like,
that's something when he's
yeah.
like doing this like the hops or
And
whatever
he's
was doing.
like trying to be a stand-up comic about the other team. Like he's writing material and it's awful. And he has to go up there at Yale practice and like deliver this like stand-up and like get people fired
and
up.
there's a lot of people. How many people are there?
I mean, they have to. It's attendance is mandatory for Yale practice if you want to go to the game at A&M.
Really?
No, but
Oh.
they think it is.
Well, no, it could have been.
It could be.
I don't know.
It's the cringiest thing I've
It
ever
is
seen.
unreal. It's
And people
unreal
are
that
vying
you
for
celebrate that tradition. You know what I mean? Like how you can't like seriously point and laugh and be like,
I mean, the dog is
"Is
that
this
one
for
thing.
real?" Like I mean,
Fellas, what are we
you
doing?
got Lassie running around. You got these Yell leaders dressed up in all white, doing these motions with their hands and where you're just like, what is going on?
If you were dropped from outer space and you went to a Texas A&M game for the first time, you'd be like, "This is what football is? Like, this is not what I'd heard. Like, what is going on here?"
It is a wild scene, man.
Hey, she's back.
Hey.
She's back.
She knew Will Wade was
All
coming
right,
on.
That's
put
it.
suntan lotion on the slopes because the
You got to watch for wind burn.
the ski burn's the worst one.
It is.
Ski
But
burn's
is that
the
how,
worst
is that how
one.
you prevent it? Is low suntan?
I don't think so.
How do you prevent-
Chapstick for sure.
Sunscreen
For
does
sure.
sunscreen helps that.
Go ahead and douse chapstick on a ski slope there, Lloyd.
I will
See how that
I will
works
do
out
it.
for
Let
you,
me-
buddy.
You just take me to Vail and I'll test my theory.
Jonathan Martin with the $10 super chat. Thank you.
So many super chats lately.
Yeah,
Jeez,
don't walk
y'all.
on the grass. They don't walk on the grass at A&M.
Like
Just
before
a
the
lot of
game?
weird- no, I think on the entire campus.
Send us, if you know
Oh,
in the
wow.
chat, send us things that we don't know about A&M that we probably
There's
should.
so many
Like, There's
things.
got to be so
Uh,
many
weird.
things.
Kevin Tate, they look like employees of a mental institution.
They really do.
They really do.
That's the best one.
They really do.
Oh my god.
I do.
They really do.
I wonder if the bus is padded.
It is weird.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Do Texas A&M fans really need to be told when to yell?
That's my thing.
I mean,
Sometimes
Go
you need
practice.
direction. Need a little direction.
That's unreal to me.
oh wow, Jonathan Martin just retracted the 9. Can you retract?
Wait,
the
I think
super
you have
chat?
the
Yes.
timing. There's that. What did we do wrong?
You've
don't
never
know.
seen people retract their statements?
Well, I have seen him retract their statements, but he just retracted the
It's
super
money.
chat.
He took the money, too.
donation.
Oh,
Okay,
no, he did.
We retract our thank you.
Why?
Yeah, we
I
don't
wonder-
thank you anymore.
Jonathan,
Aw.
explain yourself. Give us our money back.
Show yourself.
The
Maybe
wife-
he meant to give us more, so he's like going back. And then,
$100.
yeah,
Yes.
that's what it
or
was.
$8.
Couple more zeros on that.
Wait, I have a question. So you just called yourself a homer, and yesterday a lot of people called you a homer in the chat last
Really?
night. Is this the new word for homo?
No.
No.
We'll be back with more Jordy Culotta show.
No, a Homer is like somebody who's
Wow.
always leans toward their like home.
Like always
team.
taking up for LSU.
Yeah, their home team.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
So like
Yes.
a homer is like okay, like
Can you say homo anymore?
I have
And here we do.
Hey.
I have like my fandom for LSU like would make me
A homer.
A homer.
Like
Like,
you're a homer for Mississippi
Yeah,
State.
yeah, right,
I think that
right.
sounds weird. I don't like
Yes, a homer for
It
Mississippi
sounds-
State.
Should I say,
that. Right?
Um,
It sounds like you're gay for Mississippi State.
Well, you kind of are.
I
mean,
Yeah,
kinda,
you got it.
right?
It works that way.
Good
What a
observation,
first
good
question.
Yes.
I
good to
had
have you back.
because I
Good to have
wondered
you
last
back.
night about it, and then you just
Yeah.
said you were a homer, and I was like, well, dang,
you
this
got
is like
two
a
homers
new
here.
term I didn't know about.
you learn something new every day.
I thought Mikey was married.
There's a secret out there.
Noah said Katie is canceled. I don't
Yeah.
want to be canceled.
Yeah, right. Watch
Of all
yourself.
people, I shouldn't be
Yeah,
canceled.
but see, this is you asked the question.
innocent.
You weren't trying to be. You were
No.
asking the question so you could be
could be- so you
educated
could be right.
and yeah, so you wouldn't
Yeah.
offend anyone.
Yeah.
I got your back, Katie.
Coming up here in a couple of minutes, we're going to talk to Will Wade. Remember, Coach Wade is going to be here. We'll talk to him about
We'll ask
the
him.
undefeated basketball season.
Are you a homer? Will Wade?
We have some people inside of the chat talking about
Taking more money away.
Jordy, y'all must not have any love for Kim and the girls because y'all push so hard for her and don't say anything about them kicking ass and taking names. No, we are
Just
needed
what's
to
expected.
talk about Coach Wade and the crew as they are 5-1 right now, coming off of a big win versus Missouri State. They will face Iowa State on December 2nd. What is that, tomorrow night? Is today the 1st?
It's 11/29. How many
Okay.
how many days
That's
are
today.
in November?
That's today. 30.
29. No, 30 because it's your birthday tomorrow. Y'all
There we
remember
go.
that?
Okay,
Tomorrow's
Mikey.
Mikey's
There
we
birthday.
go.
Happy
Y'all
early
just looked
birthday.
panicked. Y'all just looked
I just
panicked.
hoping it wasn't today.
Y'all did.
No, it's not today.
He's been dropping hints too. We should have known.
No, I have one hint. The only reason I don't even know why that came up. I really don't ever celebrate my birthday. I would.
It went straight to Katie's calendar.
If it wasn't
It
for
did.
if it wasn't for Allie, I wouldn't celebrate my birthday.
Oh, that's sweet.
You would, or what do you mean?
Well, no, like I don't like it's not. It's my birthday. Like I'm 30. I'll be 30. I'll be 22.
Yeah, let's go out, dude.
You know, like it's not like
Allie
I'm 20. It's
Broussard's
like
year.
I'm 21 anymore. You know, it's like what's
What's
that?
to do?
You know, what
He
is
means
it?
that she
Would
makes
you-
it special for
Oh
him.
yeah, she like
sure
she
she
like you want to go to
does.
dinner, you
Yeah.
want to do something, you want to do that.
He's no homer.
He's no,
No
homer.
Homer. But yeah, so whatever.
If you were single, what would you do on your birthday?
same
Like, would you?
That's so
That's a
personal.
loaded
I would
question.
probably do the same thing. I'll probably
you know
not
what?
do
We
that.
need to reset and take a break here.
Jordy
would
is
you
so
treat
uncomfortable.
yourself
We
to
need
a
to
nice
get our,
dinner? Is what I was saying. Would
we
you
need to
go
get our
out,
bearings here.
watch
We'll
a
be back with
movie?
more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Well, wait, coming up.
Some popcorn and a movie.
Exactly.
Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. All right, welcome back here to Monday's edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. Remember, you can find them here in Baton Rouge and out in Laplace. Brand new car lots out there in Laplace with used cars here in Baton Rouge at Go Express Auto Sales. We will talk to Will Wade coming up here in about 5 minutes on the Jordy Culotta Show, as Coach Wade and the crew got another stiff test this week coming up versus Ohio, as the Bearcats will be down in Baton Rouge on Wednesday night, taking on, as we said, a now still undefeated LSU team, as the Tigers over the weekend took care of Penn State 68-63 and then beat down Wake Forest in the championship game of the Emerald Coast Classic over in Destin, Florida. It was actually in Niceville. But on Saturday, LSU rolled 75-61.
It's not that nice either.
In years past, though, like that first game, we lose that first game.
Sure.
If we don't score points, like if we're not shooting as well as we normally do, we lose games. But our defense is so good this year, and it travels, and that gets you through the game, and that allows you to gives you some room for error. And then obviously the second game, they kind of got things going.
They found their footing against Wake Forest.
Well, I think the first game was a great representation of why this team is a little different than years past. I mean, they have bailed themselves out by playing defense. I thought that their half-court offense kind of let them down. We were talking about how their defense has been different, and how it's really kind of been carrying them through a couple of stretches. But offensively, they Will Wade's teams usually roll out of bed and get 85, and for whatever reason, they just couldn't find it. Whether it was the sight lines of the gym, playing away from home. I mean, there was all types of stuff that goes into struggling for the first time away from your home arena. But like you said, I agree with you. I mean, like in the history of the recent history of LSU basketball, they'd lose those games, especially early in the season, just because they weren't scoring and they were able to really kind of find it and get back on track because their defense was leading to offense. And, once again, Tari Eason, I think, is just kind of a guy that you look up at the end of the game and you realize, man, he just does so much to affect the outcome of the game. I mean, he guards, he plays defense, he rebounds, he can run. He's got really good hands in the open floor where he can catch and finish. And obviously, I mean, he's very physical. I mean, he's a nightmare of a matchup, and I love the way that they use him. I love the way that they bring him off the bench in a six-man role, but he's always on the floor at the end of the game. Right? Like, which tells you, he probably considers him, or he considers him in his best five. I think the best five they have right now is Pinson and Gaines at the 1 and 2, Days at the 3, Efton Reed at the 4 or 5 down there with Tari Eason. I think those five right there, that is a tough matchup. And then you bring Fudge
had
in
a
off
great
the
game on Saturday.
in that role where he can provide a spark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go out there for these 8-minute, 6-minute intervals
Don't
where
even
you
have to
just
think.
play 100 miles an hour, and you do what you do great. Get up and play above the rim, block shots, intimidate people, rebound the ball, run, and then, we'll get Efton Reed right back in there.
And then it's another monster that's like,
how many alley-oops they throw against Wake Forest on Saturday?
Like, they were.
It was a dunk contest,
Friday.
dude. I was because I was trying to watch the game, the football game, and like the basketball game was on the TV. So I was like going back and forth, and it seemed like every time I turned around and looked at the game, somebody was throwing another alley-oop to somebody else.
They were playing. I mean, they were having fun on Saturday.
Why aren't they ranked yet?
Because of Will Wade.
Really? Is that really?
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
NCAA,
crazy.
they're haters.
So the
That's
Stadium
insane.
Club has TVs you can change to whatever.
Yes.
I
channel.
was in the suite.
Absolutely.
sweet.
But the stadium clubs do too.
But yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Shout out to Ross Viltz. And a lot of people were requesting the remote control
I bet.
because we wanted to go from the basketball game to Bedlam.
Oh wait, so there's only one remote that he has to walk around. Like he's got a
I don't know if there's
holster with
one.
that
I don't know if
thing?
there's one, but it was a.
That's a lot of pressure.
The one he had
was the master control.
Absolutely was the one.
I could change the screen on Tiger Stadium.
Can we
if you
call a
want.
play here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you
Got a
patch
direct
me into
line.
Jake Pietz's headset from this thing?
Yeah, Jake Peets was getting it after
He
the
was.
game. He looked like a freed man.
Freed.
I think that they're ranked number 25 today. Yeah, he was free.
Yeah.
I mean, he was.
Yes.
I mean,
He did it to himself, though. He didn't.
I don't know. Where does he end up?
Bama.
Back to Bama,
As an analyst?
offensive
Probably have
coordinator.
to crack his teeth as an analyst or get in
No.
as a quarterback's coach.
Trade Bill O'Brien
Yeah, but-
for Peets.
Yeah, I think O'Brien's probably going to get like the
Virginia.
Virginia Tech job or something. I mean,
Crack
like
his teeth. Is that the saying? Crack your teeth?
She's
I
coming back.
think
She's
it's
coming back
cut
at her
your teeth.
sayings.
I think it's
Cut.
cut your teeth,
Cut your
right?
teeth.
yes.
Yeah, but what
Yeah.
is he? Quarterbacks
that
coach.
for a minute.
What has he done to the quarterbacks?
Made him. They regressed a little bit this year, both quarterbacks. Seems like Max Johnson regressed a good bit.
I don't know if he was responsible for the quarterbacks. Do they had George Munoz is responsible? I mean, George
Jake
Munoz.
Peets is the one that's sprinting around out there running with the quarterbacks every
George
day.
Munoz was Burrow's coach. You know what I mean? If he's on staff, why the hell would he not be coaching the quarterbacks?
I agree,
Seems like
but
it
that-
was
I
a
mean,
mess,
that's-
dude.
It was. Yeah, I mean, it
I
is.
don't know what's going on.
If it's Tuesday or Wednesday, this hiring thing, that still fits the timeline, huh? That's not too late.
No, I don't think so.
If
think
we
that's
said
fine.
we initially said the first,
Yeah, y'all
which
did
would
that.
be Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
We initially said we think this decision will be made by December 1st. That's
I
Wednesday.
really
Right,
thought
well,
it was
that's
going to
on
be
track.
yesterday. I mean, I
I
really.
think everyone did.
I thought
Yeah.
for sure it was going to be
Probably why he
yesterday.
didn't- I feel like he does this on purpose. He's like, you know
Yeah.
what? Everybody thinks
Yeah,
it's
but I
today.
mean-
We're not going to do it today.
I mean, I understand that, but at some point, like
I'm with
you're
you.
becoming a detriment to your own
Yep,
program.
I agree.
You know, like I mean, if you don't see the Trevante Citizen news and say,
hey, we got to hustle up.
we got to
a
do
bit.
something here. We got to start moving because this could be a domino, and you start losing these guys at a rapid rate because you can't get in line and make the announcement. I mean, you're going to cost yourself so much. Just
a little bit of like almost equity
Yeah.
in what the team could look like. And if there was obviously rumors about high end recruits knowing who the coach was going to be. I feel like those were probably not
Yeah,
turned
everyone
out to
was
not
saying
be
that.
true. But if Trevante Citizen does know and he's not, I guess
He doesn't like him.
this would be him saying he's not down with the coaching whoever was picked. But I don't think he would know. I really don't think
They don't
all
know.
of that
You can't-
Twitter
you
stuff
can't
was
give- you
bizarre.
can't give-
they
you
don't
can't
know.
give the
I mean,
recruits-
I've
you
talked
can't
to
tell them.
You can't tell 'em.
I've talked to 3 committed players, and they don't know.
Yeah.
They do not know. I've talked to 3
Nobody
committed
knows.
players and one of their
Nobody.
parents. They don't know. I
Every
mean,
name has been thrown
they
around.
wanna
that
know.
Could be.
Absolutely.
They are pleading and wanting to know, and they just don't know. I mean, one parent told me that their last communication with LSU was embarrassing. He said it was
Really?
embarrassing. I mean, like they asked a couple of questions, and
Much
what they
so.
got in return was embarrassing. And he said, "Look, we give them the benefit of the doubt because we understand they're in the middle of something, but from somebody who's got interest and serious
It's the futures and
outlook
futures
on what's it going to be, they can't provide any answers right now. And I mean, these are some of the most high-end players in the class. You know, I mean,
I guess this is where the transfer portal helps you a little
Yes.
bit because you're allowed for them to get in 1 year and they're like, okay, never mind. LSU is not what I thought it was going to be. Like, it's not in the right shape. Like, get benefit of the doubt, play a year, then you can leave. And I would imagine that helps LSU in some regard, not only with your current recruiting that you can bring in, but also whenever you go look around a little bit. Like, if you're going to lose some commits, you can kind of start pilfering the transfer portal as soon as the new name gets in.
Well, you know what I love the transfer portal is for the Oklahoma situation. Like the Oklahoma situation
those guys are on the market now.
is going to be a great testament for the transfer portal. Guys that are committed. They've lost 3 5-stars in the last 24 hours. They have now got a roster full of guys that, hey, if you want to follow Lincoln Riley to Los Angeles, or if you went to Oklahoma because of Lincoln Riley and you
that's
he's
how it
leaving and want to
should
go
be.
somewhere else. Yeah, that's how it should be. This is going to be a great example of the
positives, right? But
of-
there's also a
of the
lot of
transfer.
negatives to the transfer
Sure,
portal
there
too.
is.
You
There
know,
is.
it's like at this point it becomes NFL free agency at some point. Like if you're leaving just because you want to leave and you want to go, like what it does, it hurts a lot of the smaller schools, like
Absolutely.
the mid majors, because like these guys that go there and play really well, and they become like, damn, this guy's actually developed over the last couple of years. He's going to transfer to
insert school here.
Yeah, whatever big school.
Mark Cumby says Woodward laughing at all this hysteria.
I hope he is.
Ronnie, the limo driver, says Woodward ain't laughing right now. He's puckered up.
I mean, it's one of the two, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's
absolutely.
one of the two.
It's absolutely. All right, Will Wade and the LSU basketball team won the Emerald Coast Classic a couple of days ago. We will talk to Coach Wade about this week ahead, where his group is after a month of the season, and what the outlook is for this very talented basketball team. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by Cajun Ready Mix Concrete. Get in touch with Cajun Ready Mix Concrete for all of your concrete needs, whether that is residential, whether that is municipal, industrial. You can get in touch with Cajun Ready Mix Concrete right now just by logging online to CajunRMC.com. That is CajunRMC.com. Right here in Baton Rouge, they've got 9 plants around the greater Baton Rouge area, which means if you're a contractor or if you're just somebody waiting on your concrete, that they will have the concrete there on time to the exact specification. High-quality products, grade A equipment, and clear safety standards. That's what you get from Cajun Ready Mix online at CajunRMC.com. Will Wade of LSU basketball next. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. What a joke it will be if today comes and goes and the LSU basketball team is not ranked in the top 25. I can promise you there are 25 teams within that top 25 that don't want to run into LSU right now.
Not a doubt.
As the Tigers look very tough over the weekend at the Emerald Coast Classic, LSU takes care of Penn State in uncomfortable fashion, win it in overtime, but one of those ugly games early on that you got to win. And then on Saturday night, they were playing above the rim, up and down the floor, and got into a winning locker room that was shown on social media that really shows off the good chemistry of this squad. Coach Will Wade and the crew back in Baton Rouge and looking forward to a matchup against Ohio. The Bearcats will be here on Wednesday night. Another really good matchup early on here in the preseason, or at least before the conference schedule kicks in on early January. Welcome home, Coach. Congratulations on the weekend.
Thanks so much. Good to be back. But we were down there. It felt like the PMAC down there. We had so many fans. So I want to thank many of them are listening. Thank everybody who came. We had a lot that came from Baton Rouge. I met a lot of people who just came up to me who had moved down there or lived down there, originally from Louisiana. So, I mean, it was like a home game both nights for us. So that was great, and our team and players really fed off that energy.
You have had a lot of goals in restoring the pride into LSU basketball, and has not only been bringing the product back on the floor to a high standard, but really the pride in the program, just in the fan base. Have you felt that? Because there is a buzz around your program right now, both locally and at least regionally.
Well, I mean, everything matters. And, I said it after the game. We've had some of those fans, some of those folks, I mean, they've gone to every single one of these multi-team events, and we hadn't won any of them. Mm-hmm. And and so we want to pay those guys back. But yeah, I mean, my first year when we went to Maui, we went to the Maui Invitational. We beat Michigan in that first game. We had like 12 people there, and like half of them were our coaches' wives and stuff. In order to be invited to bigger and better, like they base the invitations. If we want to go to battle for, they base it on how many people you can bring. It's all economics. And so, I realized pretty quickly that we need to, we've got to build that base if we want to continue to grow the program. Because everybody, why can't we get in this tournament? Why can't we get in that tournament? We got people that'll go with you.
don't know if you watched. I was watching Belmont and Dayton last night in the championship in Orlando. I mean, Dayton had 3/4 of the stands, and so that's a huge component to all that sort of stuff. So you have to build that, and now we've got something we can show. We can show the stuff from CBS where you can hear LSU, screaming through the TV. So we've got a hook now to help us with some of these other multi-team events as we move forward in the future.
At the 2-minute mark of at the end of the second half, it was incredible to hear the chants of LSU in that gym. I mean, it felt almost like you were listening to a game in the Maravich Center. Take me back to Friday night versus Penn State, because we were talking about that. When your offense hasn't been clicking like that in the past, it's been tough for your team to find a rhythm and get those wins. It was good to see you win that type of game early in the season. What did you take away from that win versus Penn State?
Yeah, we won with our defense and rebounding, which you hadn't been able to say, and we didn't turn the ball over very much. That's about the best thing we did on offense. Only turned over 8 times. But they were really prepared for us. They had put a lot of time in preparation. He's a hell of a coach. He was in the NBA for a while. Like they were very, very prepared for what we do offensively, and we got we just told our guys after the game going into Wake, I said, guys, we got to slow down, be patient. Just slow down and be patient. Like we were way too jittery and rushed, and we were way out of whack and out of character. But it says a lot about our team. We were able to get enough steals, generate enough easy baskets. We just bludgeoned them on the offensive glass. So we kind of got back to that. I wasn't real happy with our offensive rebounding leading into that game. We played Belmont, but we only offensive rebounded 24% of our misses. That game we were at 42-43%, which is really, really good. That saved us. And you got to be able to win games like that. Mm-hmm. They were prepared. They did some different things. They did a different ball screen coverage. We had worked on it for 2 days, but it's just, if you haven't seen it a bunch, the last time we'd seen it's when we did our close scrimmage earlier in the year was the last time we had prepared for it. There's not a lot of teams in our league that do that. And so, it just took us some time to get adjusted, and we were just a little bit jittery, and we missed some easy ones around the rim. We missed some open threes. And so, but we were able to figure it out with our defense and rebounding, and I was proud of our guys with their effort.
And then on Saturday, that's you at your best, right? I mean, that's LSU 2021 at its best when you're out and running like that and defending. I mean, it looked like for a 7-minute period there where you were unbeatable.
Yeah, I mean, we were turning our defense into offense. We turned the ball over way too much in transition. We had a 24% turnover rate in transition. So basically, 1 out of every 4 transition opportunities we were turning the ball over, which is really, really poor. So we've got to get that. We've got to get that under control. We've got to convert a little bit better off the pressure and off our turnovers. We do a drill every day in practice to work on that. We got to get that tightened up. But overall, I thought we took a lot better shots offensively. We didn't make some of the great shots that we took, but we had a bunch of inside out threes. I can only think of maybe 2 or 3 what I never call them bad shots, but tough shots. I thought we had maybe 2 or 3 tough shots, and our defensive pressure eventually wore Wake Forest down, and the game wasn't as close as the final score would show. But I was proud of our guys, because really the first day is about preparation and who can prepare. We were prepared, and like I said, Penn State was prepared. Second day is about who can just play hard, who's gritty and tough. We had a quick turnaround. We had our guys in there watching film and doing walkthrough and stuff on Saturday for probably 3.5, 4 hours all told. Probably a little bit overkill, but we wanted to win that thing bad. And so, we were able to put in a new play where we got a layup on, and we did some of it was beneficial, but we just have to, you got to be gritty, you got to be tough, you got to be the harder playing team on that second day. And that's kind of where in these tournaments, we've always been pretty prepared for that first game and that first day. It's been that next game where we haven't been as locked in and hadn't been as good. And I was happy for our guys that we were able to do that. We got off to a great start. We're up 6-2, and then we went 0 for 12, and we got mostly quality looks during that 0 for 12. Just couldn't make some things, but overall, very, very good weekend for us.
Mwani is tops in the country in steals. What does he give you defensively? And do you look at him and tell him to guard the other team's best player? Is that kind of how you handle him?
Yeah, I mean, him and Murray. I mean, Murray is an unbelievable defender as well. I know he's a really good offensive player also and shoots it, but Murray and Mwani give us just such an edge defensively. And Mwani knows exactly where to be, exactly what he's supposed to do at all times, and he's always in the right spot. And he's like the middle linebacker in football. He gets our whole defense aligned. He gets everybody in the right position. He gets the rotations down, and we have, with the switching and some of the stuff that we do, there's some pretty intricate rotations and X outs and on, depending on where different players are, is how we switch it out and rotate it. It's not as easy as our guys make it look. It's more like a matchup zone / man. It's a little bit of a combination of the two. So, and Mwani really has an advanced understanding of things and an advanced outlook on it, and he has a really good feel for what to do and when to do it. The ball's on the weak side, how to get the guys back matched up right, and all those sort of things. So he's been just tremendous for us.
My guy C. Veal Jr. points it out inside the chat, and I was going to bring this up. You had to be happy with the fact that you closed out games on the free throw line again this weekend. You did that. You've done that a couple of times over this first 7 games.
Yeah, free throw shooting's not bad. We got to keep the other team off the foul line, but our free throw shooting's been good. Easton was 10 of 12 in that Penn State game, which was huge. Penson hit a big 1-on-1. Gaines has been shooting it well from the free throw line. I think on Gaines, I think with his 3-point shot, there's some things with his feet that he does on the free throw line that we can get corrected in a 3-point shot. We started working on that last week, and I'm going to continue that this week as we get into this break after Ohio. I think we can really get him humming from 3. So yeah, proud of our guys. We put a lot of time into free throws. We work on free throws every day. They work on their free throw routines every day. We have specific routines and breathing routines and all sorts of different things. So we put a lot of time into that. Getting fouled, getting to the paint, making things happen from the free throw line.
I love what Gaines gives you. What do you count on him for?
He's a little bit of everything, isn't he?
He's my favorite player to watch on the court. Man, he's explosive.
He's in constant motion. Yeah. But he's been really, really, really good for us. I was proud of him in the Wade game. He had a rough first half, turned the ball over a couple times, did a couple things uncharacteristic. But in halftime, he was able to, reset himself and go through his breathing routines and go through some stuff in the locker room and get himself reset and had a good second half. I thought, he was really upset with himself at the end of that Penn State game with the turnover. He was upset with himself all night and was texting me, and I said, man, we got to move on. I think that bled a little bit over into the first half against Wake, and then he was able to snap out of it. But the good part, he cares.
Yeah.
He cares. He wants to do what he's supposed to do. He wants to do right. He really, really cares and wants to be a good player and wants to win. Which is most important. So, there's a lot of good stuff we can work with there. And, he's gotten a lot better. He's a lot better than he was last year, and he's just going to continue to get better as we play him, and he continues to work this year.
Coach, I know you mentioned the breathing routine. I know you could go into detail about this, but, me being an athlete, I don't think people realize how important being able to reset yourself is. How much of an emphasis do you put on those types of things with the guys? And I know obviously – there's a little bit of an emphasis because you said he focused on that, but how much of an emphasis do you put on some of the other guys?
Well, we've got a consultant that's all he does with us. He was in Destin with us, so he's with us 3 days a month, and we wear these breathe bracelets, and he teaches them how to visualize, how to meditate, how to reset themselves at the free throw line with their routines. So it's a big component to what we do. He's worked with my teams since I was at Chattanooga, and he's got NBA teams and NBA players. He's got a lot of teams now. We're kind of his main team, and he spends a bunch of time with our guys. He meets with some of them one-on-one, and so it's been good. It's been good. Days uses it quite a bit. Efton uses it quite a bit. Adam Miller uses it quite a bit. Eric Gaines is using it, so it's good for It's good for a lot of our guys, and it's something that we spend some time on. And he's in town and meets with the guys and goes through different routines and goes through different things about their mental space and how to get the clutter out of their mind and that sort of thing.
Coach, has he worked with you at all?
Yeah, he does. He does, but I'm not. I tell him all the time. I wrote the foreword to his book. He's got a book. I wrote the foreword to his book. That's all I said. I don't know if my antics are a good representation of
Imagine
your
what I
breed.
would
But
be
I
like.
actually do. The last thing before I go onto the court, I actually go through my own breathing routine. He's done with me, and so I do that to kind of calm myself down in the locker room before I go to the court every game.
Slow Your Roll is the name of the book. Greg Graber is phenomenal at that and works directly with LSU. Are they calling you a little tighter? Do you have something? I mean, it doesn't seem like you're doing anything out of what you've done normally in working the officials.
No, I mean, shoot now, guys. We're aggressive at Tech now. I mean, listen now. I mean, we're aggressive and we are physical.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, you can't call them all. So I mean, look, there's some pluses and minuses to what you do when you're like this.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are extremely aggressive, and we're very, very physical on the glass, and we're very, very physical on our checkouts. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on when we're out there.
Ohio, another really good opponent here before conference. What do you make of the Bearcats coming in on Wednesday?
Oh, they're really good. Their only loss is to Kentucky, and they were basically tied with Kentucky for 30 minutes. They've won at Cleveland State. They beat Belmont by 12. I mean, they're really good. It starts with Sears, their point guard. We actually watched him play when he was at Hargrave. He's tremendous. He may be the best point guard we've played this year.
Wow.
They've got 30 and 5. 30 is a transfer. He started at Ohio, went to Xavier, and is now back at Ohio. And he's good. And 5's a really good player. I mean, they've got a really, really good ball club. They basically returned a lot of their starters. They lost the kid to the NBA, Preston, but they beat Virginia in the first round of the NCAA tournament last year. That's why I think I'm the only one that was dumb enough to schedule them again. I'll give them credit, though. We got that game scheduled in about 24 hours.
No, I bet.
Wow.
I called them. They said yes. And,
And
I called them. They said yes so quick. I said that contract that they did. It was fired up. But,
You're like, man, did I make a mistake?
But I think it's going to be a really, really good game. They're going to win the MAC or have a great shot at winning the MAC. They've already went on the road and won at Cleveland State, who won the Horizon last year. They've been at Kentucky, and so they're a very, very good ball club and really well coached with Jeff Bowles. He was at Stony Brook. He was at Ohio State for a long, long time with Thad Matta. They run really, really good offense. They've got good players. So it's going to be a big challenge for us.
I know that you're worried about Ohio next, and you got about a month till you get here. But have you had a chance to just look at the conference and get a feel for the league going into this season?
I watched a little bit of basketball yesterday as I was breaking down our games and looking at some Ohio. I was watching that Belmont-Dayton game. I got to watch our friends in Tuscaloosa a little bit against Miami. I watched a little bit of Penn and Arkansas. So I've seen a couple teams, but I haven't been able to really lock in and zero. And I got to watch Auburn play down in the Bahamas against UConn. That was a heck of a game. I got to watch parts of that. But you get so locked in on your team and your season and your guys, you have a hard time watching a whole lot of other games. I follow the scores generally and that sort of thing. But I know the league's very, very good. A lot of really, really good teams. And, fortunately for us, a lot of the SEC teams are winning and have done well in some of these tournaments and have won some games in some of these early season events, which is what we need to do.
Fudge's transition has been really cool to watch from where he was last season to college basketball. What do you make of him 7 games in?
Oh, he's been awesome.
Yeah.
He's been awesome. He really got us going in that Wake Forest game. And, he's just an unbelievable talent. He's a really good kid. He works hard, diligent. He's about all the right stuff. And so, just really proud of him. Very excited about what he's going to become, because he's just scratching the surface of how good he is. And he's going to be a great player for us this year, and probably next year as well. That may be it, but he's he's that talented. He's that good, and he turned 17. I mean, he turned 18 in May. He was 17 when he was here last year.
Wow,
he's just a brilliant kid. He has it in high school. He already has his associate's degree. He went to junior college in high school.
Wow.
I mean, he's got like 70 some odd hours already towards his degree here.
Wow.
So he's just a really sharp kid, great family, great parents. His brother plays football actually at Tusculum in Tennessee. His brother's the starting wide receiver there. I told Fudge you need some of his brother's weight. His brother was at Thanksgiving. I wish we could take some of his weight and put it on you. But I mean, his mom and dad are awesome. His mom played basketball. She's a basketball coach. Really good folks. And he's got a ton of potential. He's starting to shoot it better. He's got great feel. He's got great length. He's got unbelievable athleticism. And so really excited about him.
That was a great scene in the locker room on Saturday, finishing that up. That meant a lot to y'all.
That surprised me when they started dousing me with the water. But no, I mean, look, it means a lot to our guys. And, they were tired of me talking about, we need to win one of these things and that sort of thing. But we got a great group of people, just our players, our support staff, our staff, everybody's just all in and works their tails off for our guys and to help our program. And so, I said this at the press conference afterwards. We have a lot of pride in LSU. We have a lot of pride in representing the school, representing the state. And, we want things to be done right. And when there's blemishes on our record and when we can't win these type things, like that eats at me. And when it eats at me, I tend to make it eat at the team a little bit too. So, we want to have pride in everything that we do. I told myself we've got a lot of firsts since we've been here in the last 5 years. This is one that we haven't done. It's not often you get a chance to do something for the first time in a long time. And so we need to take advantage of this opportunity. And so we really do. Our kids and our staff and everybody in our program, man, we have a lot of pride about who we represent, how we represent us, and what we do. And so we wanted to get this behind us so we can keep moving forward. Check this box.
Hell yeah, man. Boot up. Last one, Ronnie Gillen inside the chat asked, last time you were here you gave an update on Sharife and it was good news. Any better news around him?
I'll know today, he wasn't with us in Destin because he's going to Fort Lauderdale every weekend, and there's a specialist down there that LeBron and a bunch of NBA guys use that is trying to get these techniques that can move the healing process forward about half the time. So he went down there on Thursday and was back. I was texting with him last night. He texted me when he made it back, and we were texting when he was down there. He's sending me the X-ray like I can read the X-ray. I'm like, Sharife, I don't know what this. He's showing me this. I'm like, Sharife, I have no idea. Down. I'm like, Sharife, what the hell is this? This is our doctor's man. He's like, look, it's getting better, coach. I'm like, I can't even see the tear. What are we talking about?
Good, get in the game.
Seems good to me.
Anyway, it does appear that he went last weekend and he went this weekend. And it does appear that it's getting better and healing quicker, but we've just got to, we've got to see. He's still. I mean, look, even when he's cleared, I mean, he hasn't done basketball in 2.5 months. I mean, we got to get him in shape. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a. It's not like, oh, right, his foot's all right. Let's just roll him out there. Yeah. Like there's going to be, we got to get him in shape. We got to get him in practice. All that sort of stuff. So it's going to be an acclimation period. There's going to be some time, but before he got hurt, he was playing as well as he's played since he's been here. He looked great, and we're certainly hopeful for some good news. I'll know more once I can talk to him today. Like I said, we were just texting yesterday, and I'll know more once I'm able to see him this afternoon at practice and talk to him. And he's sent everything to our doctors and Sean and talk to all of them about everything. I'll have a better idea about what sort of progress we're making.
According
to him, according to him, I'm supposed to be able to see it. Everything's going great.
Perfect. Great big salute to you, General, as your crew has been fun to watch through the first month of the season. Keep it up. We'll see you on Wednesday night. Boot up. Boot up.
Boot up.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Boot up.
There he is.
Go.
Coach Will Wade checking in this morning here after another win by the crew, as they are 7-0 on the season with Ohio coming in on Wednesday night. Daily, we're brought to you by City Cafe. Remember City Cafe, where good friends meet. Stop in there and see Squeaky Miranda and the crew over there for daily lunch specials. We were at the brunch yesterday. Fantastic brunch over at City Cafe. CityCafeBR.net is where you can find them online. Next, we'll come back with John Battle, former LSU safety. Talk to him about that LSU matchup with Texas A&M and the opening for an LSU job as a proud alum, one of the former leaders and captains in this program. Who does he want? Who does he think is next at LSU? Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Hebert's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. 2 spots right here in Baton Rouge and out in Prairieville. Stop in and see them in the Dutchtown Shopping Center on Highway 73 or right here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. Online, abearsmarkets.com, and they're all over social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Hebert's combines perfect seasoning with that authentic Cajun flavor. Find out for yourself. Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and in Prairieville on Highway 73. abearsmarkets.com. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in LaPlace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. All right, one of the storylines talking about last week's Texas A&M and LSU matchup and this rivalry as it continues to grow is some of the storied matchups from years past. Who will forget in College Station just a couple of years ago, John Battle and Kevin Faulk squaring up on a couple of Aggies and Battle.
First everybody.
I mean, you don't talk about it, but Battle connected on the button with, I believe it was it Jimbo's nephew?
Yes.
Was that the him? Everybody was going at him.
Yeah, right.
He squared him up, dude.
And then there's that
wish you could
famous
see
picture
that.
of Kevin Faulk who's like picking up his khakis, bro, who's like squaring up on this kid who is that would have been his worst nightmare.
Yeah,
That-
that's
that
not
was.
someone.
That
That's
would have
not
been
somebody
his.
I want to fight.
Yeah, but Faulk really didn't go. He
No.
didn't go 3 on him.
Bro,
Right?
even seeing Kevin Faulk get in the set like that, you're like, I am.
Oh my God.
I am terrible. I'm
Oh my
sorry.
God.
I'm sorry. I should
Oh
have
my
done
God.
this.
I'm out. I'm out.
I'm
I'm
out.
out.
Don't do
I'm out.
it.
I'm out. I'm out. I'm
Dad,
out.
Jimbo.
John Battle is here. He has been in studio with us. He is one of our favorites. He is on Twitter at JBIV000. You know you can find him at Never Fake on Twitter as well. He was talking about his clothing line the last time he was here. He's got a lot of stuff going on. One of our favorite. John Battle from South Florida is checking in with us. JB, how are you? Good morning.
What's going on, guys?
Doing good, man. Another emotional win for LSU versus Texas A&M. It seems like every time these two programs meet up, it's going to come down to the wire. Of course, you played in that 7 overtime game What are some of your memories of LSU and A&M?
I mean, coming in first, we really didn't care about Texas A&M. Like, they were just another game on the schedule, really. It was just something. It's just something about them that just makes us cringe in a way.
right there with you.
Yeah, it's the cool part.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
The yell leaders just freak me out, bro.
Boys.
It's just a very weird and unique place.
Right. Take me back to is that 17? What was it? It was 18. The game that went 7 overtime. 18. Take me back to the 18 game where you and Faulk you find yourself squared up with Jimbo's nephew at the end of the game.
Crazy moment in my life. I'll tell you that. So I'm talking to one of my guys that I know from South Florida who plays at Texas A&M. We're just catching up after the game. Fast forward, see some commotion going on. So we kind of, just walk over there and see what's going on. Just me being such a great guy and always, trying to just
right.
save.
Hold that thought. I'll be right back. Let me go save the day.
I kind of see some pushing and shoving going on, and then I kind of stand next to Coach Faulk because I see him kind of getting upset. To see him kind of getting out of character is not something that's usual. So being there, I'm kind of standing next to Coach, trying to hold him back from doing anything outright. And then next thing I know, I see just fists just flying across my face and just brushing my nose, and then just out of reaction,
Yeah.
Right.
Just let one off.
Hey, somebody swings at you. Everybody should feel like, you know what? I'm gonna swing back.
A little desk pop. Just let them know you're here.
Yeah, it's quick little desk pop. It's not one of my proudest moments. I would say that.
Right.
It was justified though.
Like I said on Twitter, it was just a bunch of trolling on my behalf just because I hate Texas A&M in Florida. But I don't condone violence at all. It's something that I'm really not proud of. But you know what? If the fans love it, you know what? We'll keep talking about it.
They love it, bro. It'll be one of those stories that lives on forever in this rivalry. I mean, that'll be an image that I think you see. JB 2-6 throwing that right hook and Kevin Faulk squaring up those khakis on that kid. That thank God for him. That didn't go as bad as it could have. I mean, that could have gone. He could have been forever.
He could still be paying those bills.
Absolutely, he could have been forever impacted by that.
You learned something that day, though.
Johnny, as a proud member of the LSU program, former alumni, you wore the C. You were a captain in this program. What do you make of the state of it right now, and kind of where LSU is in this coaching search?
Well, first of all, I would just say that I'm just proud of Coach O and all that he accomplished, man. And it's, kind of short, term there, honestly. I can tell you a great story about, the situation, how everything kind of happened was me, Coach O, and Coach Dennis Meatball Johnson we're going out to the field early, and then this is just right right after Coach O had officially became our head coach. And so we're walking to the practice field, and it's me, Meatball, and Coach O. And then he's just saying, like, man, I'm telling you guys, like, we're going to win a national championship. Like, we're going to get it done. Like, we're going to recruit. We're going to do all these things. Literally everything that he said that he was going to do, he did it. And it's like for me to kind of be witness of what he believed in and what he said for it to come to fruition is just first off, just hats off to him, and then what he accomplished, and just knowing him from the past, just seeing him at I was getting recruited in 2014. He was the intern at USC. Then 2 years later, now he's our D-line coach. Going from the D-line coach to the interim coach. Going from the interim coach to the head coach to the national champion. Like to take us from a program who's going to the Citrus Bowl and all that to win a national championship in under 6 years is something that any coach dream of doing, but for actually him to accomplish it is just hats off to him, man. He's a great guy, great coach. I kind of feel indifferent about him kind of leaving. I don't really think it's the correct choice, but who am I, to make that decision? But man, just hats off to Coach O, man.
Very well said here. John Battle joining us here on this Monday morning. Remember, you can follow JB on Twitter at JBIV000. Now what? Now the move has been made. Now from a a former player's point of view, what do you think is next for LSU?
I think we have to get somebody who understands the culture of LSU. I don't think this is a job just for anybody who can come in and just, kind of take over. It's a place where you have to understand the culture. You have to understand the state of Louisiana, the players, the people, and then you have to understand, how to recruit the players and the people. You also have to understand, the traditions that we have here, like DBU, now the wide receivers and running back to D-line. You have to understand that process. You have to understand, what it means to be a Tiger. So we definitely need somebody who understands, all of those things that I just said, because, again, this is not an ordinary job. This is not a job that anybody in America do. It really takes a special person, mentally, physically, emotionally to understand, what it means to live purple and bleed gold. So I really thought we was going to get Bill Napier. I'm not going to lie. I thought that was, the top candidate on my list. I'm kind of.
Would you have liked him? Would you have liked him?
I think he would have been a good fit. I think he would have been a good fit. As far as everything that I named, he has the most understanding about what I just said. So I feel like that would have been the number one person that we would try to go get. I really don't know at this point. Lincoln Riley, I'm kind of happy that we didn't.
Yeah, we're on the same page. Yeah.
I didn't think that would have been a good fit. So yeah, I really don't know who else was out there, honestly.
John, if you were in charge of hiring, and I know you mentioned Billy Napier, and he's an offensive-minded guy, but you're a defensive player.
Right.
If you were in charge of putting together a program right now, a Power 5 program, let's say you were in charge of this LSU program right now, would you put an emphasis on hiring a coach with more offensive-minded thinking, or would you hire a defensive guy?
I go defense. Defense for sure. Defense wins championships. It has been said time and time again. Without a defense, it's nothing that you can do. You can score how many points you want, but if you're not stopping anybody, you're not getting it done. So I definitely believe that, and again, that's what LSU is. LSU is a defensive team. When you're we gritty, the defense always sets the tone, and then the offense kind of carries the momentum forward. We need someone who understands the culture of that, understands D-line U, DBU, because it starts there. That's the forefront of the team, and everybody else kind of get aligned when it comes to that. But definitely need someone defensive minded for sure.
You played for Aranda. He's having success at Baylor right now, and his name's popping up on jobs all over the country. What do you make of him as a head coach?
Man, it's so great to hear that, because it's just, when he first came in, everybody was like, yeah, we're getting this brainiac from Wisconsin. And we was like, huh? He's like a genius, man. He's like the number one defensive coordinator in the country. He's like, yeah, he's at Wisconsin. We was like, Wisconsin? So we was like, all right, whatever. He kind of comes in. And then we were kind of looking at the team and Sesame telling us, we were like, okay, wow, he is a genius. All right, so how are we going to do this? Because all we do is run man here.
Playbook's one page.
To have Coach Aranda, kind of give us a new identity and a new light defensively, it was such a breath of fresh air. He brought so much to our team, and started blitzing more, started playing more zone, and we kind of became a overall defense in the sense that LSU was kind of not really known as being overall defense, just being a strong defense. And he has done a tremendous job being a defense coordinator at LSU, and now to see him as a head coach is even better, because if you know him as a person, it's just like, wow, Coach Aranda is actually a head coach, and he's actually a great job. It's a sight to see. But man, kudos to him and what he's doing, and he did a great job putting that staff together. Him and I'm forgetting his name right now.
Meatball's over there.
Yeah, there. I'm the offensive coordinator. I can't.
You're talking about Jeff
Grimes.
Jeff Grimes.
Grimes, yes. Yeah. Grimes is also another genius. I believe he deserves a head coach job for sure somewhere. His resume speaks for itself and what he's done over the past years, and he definitely deserves to be a head coach candidate somewhere. But man, Coach Aranda's that. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be. I would be okay with that hire for sure. I would be okay because again, he understands all the characteristics of what it means to be a Tiger, and he understands the culture here. He understands. So I think that would be probably one of the easiest transition, honestly, for us. Him or Joe Brady, that would be probably the most easiest transition for sure.
How good were his halftime adjustments? Because, as a fan looking in, you see like something would go on. Let's say, maybe y'all gave up a couple scores, 2 or 3 scores, and then y'all'd come in after halftime, and then it was like locked down. It was adjustments. They weren't doing anything. It was like, oh my God, this guy came in and changed the entire defensive scheme over in 20 minutes, and then y'all would just turn it on.
Again, he's a genius. Like during the course of the game, like he would just allow stuff to happen. And so, like me, kind of being like a leader and the captain of the defense, I would, come up to him and be like, hey, like, are we going to make an adjustment here? Like, when are we going to do this? When are we going to do that? Like, what's going on here, coach? And then he just kind of give me a look and just be like, I got it, relax. And then we come to the locker room, and then next thing you know, he just throws out the whole team, and then we're running this, we're running this, we're running this, we're running this. And then we were like, everyone kind of just, his brilliancy it amazes me, just how quick he digests things and see things and, translate it to like X's and O's and give it to us to go out of there and execute. But again, he's a genius, man. He's a quiet and reserved guy. So most of the time he's just writing something. You don't really know what he's doing or what's going on in his head. He's just kind of writing, taking notes and just seeing things. And then I guess once you put it all together, it comes out to be magic for sure. So,
JB, you can speak on this as well. Last year, Jacoby Stevens told me, he said that the hardest thing in the transition last year from going from the national champs to the 2020 edition of LSU was not having Dave Aranda's communication style in the building. They went from Aranda, who was very respectful to you guys and treated you like men from the day that you showed up to the facility, to a guy in Bo Pelini who's much more, his style is much more F you, screaming in your face to try and motivate the guys. When people hear of Dave Aranda's communication style, people are, I think, surprised to hear that he is very effective in the way that he gets the best out of his players. As one of his former players, can you speak into that?
He just has this way about him. It's kind of really hard to describe if you haven't, been in the presence of him. But again, he's a man of few words, but when he speaks, he sings volume. So he just always he says the right things at the right time. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's you never hear too much from him, but when he speaks, it's always at the right time, and he's always saying the right thing. So it's just always easy for everybody, to kind of look at him and just be like, okay, coach, like we're right here with you, like we agree with everything that you're saying. But for sure, when I went from Chief to Kevin Steele, so those are two hard, gritty guys. That, again, LSU was accustomed to being a strong defense, but not an overall defense. So having him coming in and just kind of flipping the whole MO of who we are and what we are, it was definitely something that, that we needed a new identity of. And it worked out for the best because, Chief was great. Steele was great. I love those guys. I love both of them, but it was just something about Coach Aranda that, he kind of just understood and was able to communicate. I'll probably say, the most out of, both of those coordinators that I mentioned before. But I don't know, man. It's just something about him that, it wouldn't work for any other coach. I'll tell you that. It wouldn't work. No. It's just something about him and how he communicates and goes about the business that, make everything, for the better.
Yeah. Dave Aranda, head coach at Baylor, former LSU defensive coordinator, and one of his standouts, John Battle, here with us on the Jordy Culotta Show. Final one, I'll get you out of here, man. Appreciate you you stopping by, and it's great to hear from you.
Always.
If I give you a choice of coming back and playing one game, what uniform pattern are you selecting for LSU? Are you going all whites like LSU on Saturday night? Are you going traditional or white headgear, purple tops, white pants? Where are you going?
Man, I'll tell you what. Our first time wearing the all-white uniforms was 2000. I want to say 16 or 15. Something. I think it was 15. It was 2015. Ole Miss, yes. So we're coming in the locker room. One, we have no idea that we're wearing these uniforms. So it's kind of, this is our first time, because our equipment staff call us LS No Swag U. So Coach Miles didn't allow us to wear anything. We didn't have visors at the time. We didn't kind of wear. We were cutting up socks for arm sleeves. So it goes to show you, what
I'm gonna have some swag, damn it.
So we walk in the locker room, and then we see these white helmets. We like, oh wow, what the hell is going on? And then guys get excited, and then we kind of see the jerseys. We like, what the hell? And then we see the pants. Like, oh my God, this is crazy. It was like Christmas, man. It was like Christmas. We went out there and got whooped. So I'm kind of not truly a fan of the all white uniforms, for me personally. But I think the one that we wore for Mississippi State, any of those, both those combinations, the gold, the classic, the gold, those are great. And man, it's just something about that purple helmet that was something else.
Forgot about that one.
The purple, the one that changed colors,
hypercolor.
Yeah. I don't know what they did or what G-String and Lewis and all those guys did over there, but man, I'll probably say that's my favorite uniform combination for sure.
Do you still have the helmet?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can't get that one back.
Absolutely.
JB, tell them what's going on, man. It was fun to hear about your clothing line and what you had going on the last time we saw you in studio. What's the latest, and how can people find and keep up with you?
Yeah, so it's a big weekend down here at Art Basel. If you're in South Florida, please come by. And check me out and my guys out. We got some big things going on this week and this weekend. So you can find me at neverjfake.com. That's the clothing brand. It's neverjfake. That's on Instagram and Twitter. My personal Instagram is jbiv000, and that's also my Twitter. So yeah, just come out, man. Check us out down here at Woodward. We're gonna be out and about, moving around. Have a pop-up shop going on Saturday. So it's going to be some cool art pieces and some, cool designs and stuff. So, that's kind of what I'm really getting gearing up for. This is my Super Bowl of art.
Nice.
Awesome.
Go get them, bro. Have a great weekend. And look, we'll be tagging you in all of our social media. So anybody who's looking for him and needs to find him, you can find it on the Culotta Show post all throughout the day. Thank you as always. Great to hear from you, JB.
I love you guys.
All right, man, love you too, man. There he is, John Battle checking in from South Florida this morning. As that conversation is brought to you by Falaya Real Estate. Remember, online at falaya.com is where you can get in touch with Barrett Blondo. He's changing the way real estate is being bought and sold throughout the state of Louisiana and throughout the South. Get in touch with him. This is much more than for sale by owner. You get exposure on MLS, Zillow, Realtor.com, and all the major sites, virtual tours, push-button offers, document automation with e-sign if you're looking for it at falaya.com. Barrett Blondo. 225-939-6153, 225-939-6153. Download the application inside your Google and Android stores and log online to falaya.com. Good show today. Appreciate everybody being out there. As we get out of here, make sure you hit that like button, that share button, that comment button. We appreciate you interacting with us, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on YouTube, or whether it is on JordyCulottaShow.com. Remember, if you're looking for any gear, Jordy.itemorder.com to find anything from merchandise that you may be looking for.
New logo's coming out there.
New logo.
New logo
There's
coming
new
out.
logos, yeah. But I want one of these. These are awesome.
Yeah, they are.
God, these are great.
They are so
Is it
comfortable
just the Nike
too.
check that makes it cool? And
Yeah.
obviously
Oh, well,
our
it's
logo,
the
but-
comfortable.
Cooler.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are very soft and comfy.
Very
But yeah,
comfortable.
totally cooler with the Nike check.
I know. I don't know. They get away with everything.
Who?
What do you mean,
Nike. They could put, slap a check
Yeah.
on it. Everybody's like, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I know. I'm with it.
They've
Just
earned it.
jealous.
They've earned
They've
it.
earned
They've
it.
earned the
Have
brand.
They have earned it.
If you have not subscribed to our YouTube page, make sure you hit that subscription button and that bell right next to it so you know when we go live. Thank you as always for your support. We will be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for the entire crew. Have a great Monday. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.